Hey everybody, this is Casey July from the July Studio, and I'm here with my first December installment of So Unprofessional. I wanted to come to you guys today, and I wanted to start talking about some nitty-gritty. I actually have some notes written down, and I wanted to talk to you about some things that were more detailed. I don't want to name call, and I don't want to call people out like certain people, because this whole process of doing the So Unprofessional videos has kind of helped me heal, and it's kind of helped me have some realizations about how I treat people, how I interact with people. And so today I just wanted to talk to you about some things. I'm going to talk to you about some things that are my perspective of things that happened and how it affected me. And I am going to tell you what other people did, but I would like for you to be able to hear it from the mindset of where I have been and what's been going on with me. I want to start breaking away from I've called them the whiny videos. I want to start breaking away from the whiny videos. And in January and February, I want to start doing actual more vlogging and blogging about my sewing and about my process. And I want to show you my more of like when I'm working on stuff for my clients and kind of what my everyday life is like. But I think I want to close out this part of the series with something a little more detailed. I want to offer you guys a little bit more information about me and how I ended up where I am today and where I want to go from here. So I wore my shirt. I'm going to show it to you. It says, "Everyone is entitled to my opinion." And it kind of goes with my theme today of unsolicited advice. Now, for my terms today, I'm going to define unsolicited advice for you. For me, unsolicited advice is when somebody comes at me. Most of the time it's on the internet. They only know half of a story. They only know half of what's going on. They only know their point of view. They only know their side of the story. And they want to give me advice. And they want me to follow that advice instantaneously. And it's like a Facebook message, or it's like a comment in a status, and there's no substance to it, there's no fact to it, there's no research to it, there's no understanding. They're just giving me unsolicited advice that they want me to instantly follow their advice. And I just want to give you an example of the opposite of that. I have an older woman in my life who has had successful businesses, who has had unsuccessful businesses. She knows my fiance from before he was even with me. She knew him before he and I were even together. And when I have a problem or when I need advice from someone who I know has a clear perspective, she is who I go to her. I get in my car and I drive to her. I see if she has a few minutes to talk to me, or I have lunch with her. I'm planning on having lunch with her soon. And that is solicited advice. I am asking her for her advice. When you just send me a Facebook message, when you just put something in one of my statuses and you just want to go after me and you're just like, you should do this, 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 and this. And I'm telling you, I have had all grades of people tell me what they think I should do with my life. And these people are coming after me from all directions, and in a very nice way of saying it, they have no idea what they're talking about. Social media has made that really easy. So like I said, I've got some notes. I want to talk to you first off about conventions, cosplay conventions in particular. When people try to shoot me unsolicited advice, when I spend thousands of dollars to make cosplays on my own that are not commissioned, people are like, well, can you come to this convention? Well, do you want to get a booth at our convention? Do you want to do this at our convention? Do you want to be in this fashion show at our convention? And then I'm like, well, what are the terms? Well, you have to pay for your booth, and you have to pay for your food, and you have to pay for this, and I have to say, no, I'm sorry. I can't do that. And the reason why I can't do that is because if I don't sell anything, which has kind of been the rut I was in, if I don't sell anything, then I can't cover all those costs. And I have seen conventions and places that have guests, and those guests are there for free, and they didn't pay for their hotel, and they didn't pay for part of their food, and they didn't pay for their booth, and there is a guest, and that's fantastic. But that doesn't automatically mean that you can just pick and choose who you want to go to and invite to your convention and then be like, oh, but you have to pay and you don't have to pay, and you have to pay and you don't have to pay. And if I say I'm sorry, I can't do that, then you can't turn around and start rumors about me. You can't turn around and say that I'm difficult to work. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard people say, well, so-and-so said you were difficult to work with. I'm going to tell you something. 9 times out of 10, if person A says person B is difficult to work with, most of the time it's person A that's difficult to work with, not person B. Now, that's not always true, but most of the time, the person who is saying they're difficult to work with usually is the one that's actually difficult to work with. Another thing about cosplay conventions is, like, if there's going to be a fashion show, if there's going to be a some kind of an event, they're like, hey, we want you to come and bring your stuff. And I find out that my people are going to be changing in a bathroom. I have velvet, I have satin, I have taffeta, I have yards and yards of lace. I cannot change models in a public bathroom. There is no, you would not take somebody who spent $5,000 on their wedding dress and thousands of dollars on their wedding and ask them to change in a bathroom. Here, let's take this beautiful one-of-a-kind handmade wedding dress and we're just going to put you in a public bathroom. Or if they're like, oh, there's going to be a show, there's going to be a fashion show. And then you're like, oh, you're going to walk up and down this hallway in a hotel. Like, just a public hallway. This is the fashion show. If I say that is not the right terms and conditions for me to work under, that does not make me difficult to work with. That means that I choose to not put my custom-made clothing in that situation. I've had people get in touch with me and they're like, oh, we're going to go out into the woods and we want to take your stuff. And I'm like, cool, where are they going to change clothes? Where is the dressing rooms? Oh, well, we'll just lay a tarp down. You want me to give you a $500 velvet cloak to wear out in the woods with a tarp for a dressing room. If I say that that is not the right situation for me and my clothes, that does not make me difficult to work with. People ask me, well, just mail it to me. Then I never get it back. I have several pieces floating out there that have been floating out there for years that I never got back. Come to this convention, come to this photo shoot, and I get there, and there's a person who's changing in a historic hotel, and there's one person in this huge dressing room, in this huge hotel room, and then they put all of my clothes, like 30 outfits, in a little closet. And they're like, oh, here's this tiny little closet for your $40,000 worth of clothes, but this one person over here gets this whole big room. And then later on, when I'm like, how did I end up in that little teeny tiny room? Oh, now you're being a diva. Oh, now you're complaining. Now you're hard to work with. And I'm like, how did I get hard to work with when I'm simply asking, what did I misunderstand? Did I miss a cue somewhere? Did I come with an unrealistic intention of where I was going to be, because maybe I thought I was going to be in the massive dressing room. That's where the problem lies. And you cannot come after somebody and say, let me give you some unsolicited advice, if you do not know the whole situation. Let me see, what do I got? Okay, I managed to cover it all right there. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Now, I also want to say that I have learned so much about how you go into these situations. I have learned to say, where is the fashion show going to be? Where are my models going to be changing? What are the terms of what are the conditions? Can you contract me for that? Can I please see some paperwork? Can I see some? And now I don't care. If you say I'm difficult to work with because I act professional, I don't give a shit anymore. I do not care anymore. Other people who see something on TV or watch reality TV and they think that that's how it works, that's fine. Oh, we've got this big cosplay thing going on over here, and you come in and you start asking questions and you're just causing problems. And I'm like, really? Wanting to know more information about something is causing problems? I don't know. Maybe it's part of my personality that I don't go with the flow. Maybe it's part of my personality that I like to push buttons. But I'm going to tell you that I'm going to protect me. I'm going to protect the July studio, and I'm going to protect my clothes. And for a long time, it bothered me that literally above my head upstairs in the upstairs closet, I have like $40,000 worth of costumes just sitting there. It bothered me for a long time that these costumes are sitting upstairs and that people aren't renting them, people aren't buying them, people aren't wearing them. But I've come to the conclusion that when the time is right and when the situation is right, that it will be okay. And I have every right to protect my work. I have every right to protect my artwork. If I was a painter and I had a closet full of paintings and someone started my house on fire and I wanted to go back in and get my paintings, I would have every right to do that. And when it comes to my clothing and when it comes to my work, if I want to protect my work and I want to protect my creativity, I have every right to do that. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that that's okay. And when the time is right, when I am in the right place and my heart is in the right place, I have full confidence that all of this hard work will bloom. And for a long time, I didn't have that confidence like I do now. All right, everybody. I love you so much. Thanks for tuning in again. If you have anything that's ever happened to you like that, have you ever got to like a cosplay convention and when you got there, it was not what you expected at all? Maybe it was, maybe they promised you something and they never delivered. Don't have to name names, but you can tell me about it in the comments below. Subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos, vlogs, and blogs and vlogs about sewing. All right. I love you guys. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.